The Enduro 1/24th scale, ready to run off-road Sendero trail truck by Element RC has a whole lot going on in the name. I hope there is a whole lot going on in the box. Now, you may not be familiar with Element RC, and that's okay. You probably know about their parent company, Associated Electronics, the folks from Team Associated that in the 80s brought you the toy of all toys, Gold Pan RC10. I spent a ton of time, money, riding my bike to the hobby shop, playing with this thing, so I'm actually really excited to see what's in this box. Let's open it up. Just first impressions, I noticed from the box, this bumper, it's like it's crazy textured. Maybe just a prototype. Our truck should be the red and blue one. They've got this pretty cool, I almost want to say like Darth Vader yellow and black one. I wish I had gotten that one. But locked up RC, everything has to be blue, right? No, just most things. Actual size. I mean, they're not completely, it's pretty close. I'm not going to say actual size. Hey, that's neat. So, obvious first thing to notice when you take this out the box is that they have a pretty they have a pretty cool little scale garage in here. Looks like maybe if you cut these flaps out, you get a little scale garage door on there. I don't know how this all goes together, if I'm honest, which sometimes I am. But that looks like it's fun for someone that would want to take scale pictures. If you're into that kind of stuff. The truck looks like it's secured with a zip tie. Can make short work of that. It's like the box may have been roughed. I don't know. The outside looked okay. That's weird. There you go. Truck's pretty cool looking. I like the body. The paint kind of reminds me of like I don't want to say 80s because now I'm all stuck in the 80s from talking about an RC10. Kind of looks like a stadium truck paint job or something. For the truck itself, battery is already in there. Can't tell if it's plugged in. It might be. Articulation. Looks like we've got pretty good stuff. On this side, I don't see any body contact. On this side, I guess it's just going to depend. May have to clean up the fender flares a little bit. But look, this is a pretty. You got to think about what you're paying for these things, right? In the front, well, let me start with the suspension because I see some things here. We've got a 4-link rear, no problems there. Everything seems smooth. And look, this is definitely springy. There is no shock oil or anything in there. Up front, we have the same 4-link, 5-link weirdness thing without a track bar that we had on the CR24. I will say in this case, it also looks like, I don't know if you guys can really tell, it looks like the diff contacts the servo horn. Shouldn't be able to do that. The diff is contacting the servo horn before you get complete compression on the shocks. I don't know how much that's going to matter. I don't know how much you're really going to be launching this thing as opposed to crawling around on the couch. We'll have to look into that. Maybe that's something we can remedy. Front bumper looks much better than it did in the picture. I don't know why that picture looks that way. Got a little cutout for a fair lead if you want to try to throw in some sort of winch on this, I guess. Looks like a front mounted motor, transfer case, transmissions up front with the motor. I'm guessing this is an all-in-one speed control. Take off the body in a second. Obviously, body clips. No rear bumper on this one. So if you fall off of things backwards a whole lot, that may become an issue. You may end up cracking the body, probably along the pins and in the wheel wells. I don't know how much torture you're really going to put one of these things through. We've got glue on wheels and tires. Maybe not the best. Not the best or the worst glue job there. Well, that's interesting. We've got an RX number on the front. I'm assuming that's a receiver number and not my prescription number at Walmart, but you never know. Let's see. What else? You know, I like the way the body looks. I think maybe I'd prefer it if the windows weren't stickered and painted, because then I could sticker or paint them or tint them or leave them clear. I always like to have options. Small nitpicky thing, but that's why you're watching this, is for some small nitpicky stuff. I'm just gonna keep playing with this all day, doing this, because it's gonna bug me. Let's see what else is in here. We've got a remote that looks like, is this? Oh, that, really? This looks like it's pretty similar to the, I'm having the same problem. This looks like it's similar to the CR24 remote, which, again, I said this, man, why, what is wrong with me that I can't put these things back together? I really just, there we go. And what? That's my bad. It fits fine. I just have problems lining things up, I guess. I don't know. This remote looks like the CR2. Actually, you know what? Let me go grab that remote. I think these two remotes go a little beyond looking similar. They're definitely cut from the same cloth. I mean, no doubt, right? They both have the same battery release mechanism set up. It's just that the CR24 has buttons up top, and the Enduro24 has some, I'm guessing, analog knobs. So maybe there's some difference on the inside. But I'm sure you could swap the battery handles. No question about that. Going further into the box, we have probably some instructions, maybe some pamphlets. Instead of saying probably, let's open it and find out. We have some, spare parts and information. How to work the transmitter on the back. Good stuff. I don't see anything on here specific to what this RX number is. Oh, there you go. I'm guessing that these are going to match, right? Yeah. I don't mind the sticker on here. I don't know why they have this on top of the front bumper. They could have put it, seems like, anywhere else. You know, whatever. I didn't design it. No one consulted me. Certificate of conformity. Conformists. Let's see. Brochure, pamphlets. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook. Blah, blah, blah. What is this? Important safety instructions. Nobody reads those. Charger. Oh, we got some extra body posts. I'm gonna say that these are replacements for the rear if you're running an SUV body. Oh, hey, that's open. Surprise, surprise. These are definitely to go in the rear if you're running some sort of SUV. And our little LiPo charger. 200 milliamps, so this is a little bit more than the Hobby Plus. Let's see what's under this hood. Nothing too surprising. All-in-one ESC receiver. Selectable for LiPo or nickel metal hydride. On-off switch. That seems like it's going to be, get to that without too much problem. divorced transfer case, servo and motor up front. One thing I do like about this servo compared to the CR24, this is going to sweep the same way the knuckles do. So it's, to me, a little bit more realistic. Then again, you run into this problem with it bottoming out. Doesn't look like you could really raise the servo a whole lot. Maybe we can spin it around. I don't know. We'll play with it and see what happens. That's going to jack up my steering throw. We'll figure it out. Tires feel pretty good. They are glue on, if I didn't already mention that. And like the CR24, I see a couple of spots, things like this, you know, if I can turn this lockout around or rotate it, get this screw out of harm's way. And, you know, a lot of these things that I do and I talk about are because I come from bigger scale crawlers, competition crawlers. Things like having the zip ties wrap around the chassis, I just see a rock catching on that. So there'll be some little things we can probably clean up in here, make it a little bit of a better performer. Oh man, that's, if you can see that, yeah, shock. If you look right here, you'll be able to see a pin in there. It's like a dog bone shock shaft. It's interesting. And there's not really a whole lot of power to these. And by the way, there's definitely no, I mean, obviously now there is no oil, grease, nothing in here providing any sort of additional dampening, I guess, if you will. It's just all spring. So it's just a little bouncy. But having said that, I don't believe the front bumper is adjustable. It looks like it is one size fits all. Maybe you could, I guess you could adjust it. It looks like these two screws hold it on. Maybe put some spacers back there if you wanted to push the front bumper out. Don't know if you'd be able to tuck it in. It does look like there's two working LEDs up front. Obviously none in the back because we don't have a back bumper. There's the molded one on the body, but nothing on the chassis. M2 axle nuts, the tiny drive shafts. I don't see anything on here other than this bottoming out that makes me think that this is poorly crafted. I mean, it looks like it's put together well. You know, super teeny tiny little screws. That's what it's all about, right? So I mentioned this with the CR24. It's maybe a hair better on this. Maybe not. So there's definitely some daylight, if you will, between the bottom of the rocker and the top of the chassis. So for somebody like me, that just makes me think that there's a giant body lift on this, which as a one-to-one guy, I've never really been a super big fan of. So lowering the body might become difficult because of the way the servo is and the way the axle bumps into this. So we may have some work to do in the front end, but like I said, I think it's a pretty good looking truck. I think you get your money's worth out of this, but we're going to find out more when we drive this. Now, for those of you that don't have one of these trucks at home, or can't go see one in person, I guess is what I should say, I just wanted to do some comparison. This is a 1/16 scale truck, 1/24 scale. The size difference is obvious. And of course, you can also throw up the 10th scale crawler. I do this just because if you are out on the internet hunting for one of these, I want you to know how much smaller this is. I mean, that's palm sized. So my final thoughts on the Element RC Enduro24 1/24 scale ready to run off-road truck. Did I leave anything out? Sendero trail truck. The name is giant. The truck is tiny. I don't think you're going to get this truck and hate it. The only real downsides that I can see to this truck so far are, like I said, no back bumper, and we've got some contact with the diff on that servo. Is that going to matter? I don't know. I don't even know how fast this thing is. I don't know that I can launch this thing. So we'll get into more of that kind of stuff when we start comparing all of these trucks together. Which reminds me, I'm going to need your help. If you could, please post down in the comments, because we're going to do a review of the MSA 1E, and I mistakenly ordered 3 different body styles. Back orders just mess me up all the time. There's the 76 F-150, the Coyote Pup, and the Suzuki Jimmy JB74. So if you guys have any preference on which one of these things we bust open and do a review on, please let me know down in the comments. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
If you liked this video, please consider subscribing. Not sure if you want to subscribe yet? Check out one of these videos. Thank you for watching.